I'm not data scientist, nor I'm entrenched in the technicalities of AI, but yet I find it very fascinating to explore and explain the differences between the way I use AI today and the potential of upcoming advancements. Like you, I've been hearing lots of noise about the new Q-star model in OpenAI, and I want to do my own research, my own due diligence to educate myself about the potential advancements in AI. So this video is going to help us to demystify AI and Q-star and put it into some kind of a framework of the past development and what the Q-star model might bring into the future of AI. Believe it or not, we are going to use an example of solving maze when it comes to AI. So if I would ask you, how would you solve maze? What would you do? You have to figure out the path where it forks. How do you decide as a human which path to take? So do you think, is it part of luck, part of guessing, some kind of skills involvement, or even intelligence? So the latest noise on the market is about this powerful artificial intelligence discovery at OpenAI, which is the company behind ChatGPT. And there are genuine fears that it's so powerful that it could threaten humanity. And it seems that this discovery was alarming enough that some group of OpenAI researchers took their concern to the board of directors. OpenAI's very existence is the quest for what it's called artificial general intelligence. So AGI typically means artificial intelligence that matches or outmatches humans on a range of tasks. And that's like AI, but more advanced. And large language models, such as ChatGPT, they are designed to learn and internalize the patterns embedded within the fabric of language. Let's go one layer deeper and let's explain what a large language model is. It refers to a type of artificial intelligence model that is trained on a vast amounts of text data. So models like GPT-3, GPT-4, they are all designed to understand and generate human-like text based on input they receive. So we know already how we are using ChatGPT. We use it to answer any kind of questions, to write essays, blogs, summarize text, translate languages, and even create content like stories and poems. So when training a large language model, we have to use static data. And this data is massive collection of text that has been previously written and compiled, and they usually come from books, articles, websites, and other written materials. So the model will learn by analyzing the patterns, structures, and the context within the data, which will help it to understand language and generate coherent, relevant responses. So far, you might have appreciated the use of ChatGPT because I'm sure it has created lots of efficiencies in your day-to-day tasks. But what we need to remember that these large language models, they have many limitations. Number one, dependency on training data. So the large language models can only generate responses based on the data it was trained on. So therefore, if the large language model hasn't encountered certain information in its training data, it won't be able to generate accurate responses about the topic. And this is why you need to always check and do not 100% trust what ChatGPT gives you. Second limitation is it has a lack of real-time knowledge. So it's always trained with few months latency. Okay. Third, there's no original thought or creativity. So what we are doing today, we are kind of remixing and recombining elements that we have learned from training the data. They don't have original thoughts or consciousness. So even though we are expediting our writing, but we are not delivering anything groundbreaking. Fourth, there are lots of biases and inaccuracies in the answers. And fifth, we are limited in understanding the context. While these large language models are good at understanding and generating text, they sometimes struggle with complex context or nuances that a human would easily understand. So now, looping back to our solving our maze, let's think about maybe how would artificial intelligence solve this. So maybe the approach would be to start at the very beginning, and at every fork it would just kind of like pick a path, and then it might go one way. If it hits a dead end, it would backtrack, pick a different path, and it would keep doing this until eventually and hopefully it finds the exit. So as you can see, it will try multiple strategies till it delivers its goal. And at the kind of going through the process, in a way, we are collecting bits of wisdom that these are called heuristics, and those can help us to expedite the goal and the solution when we are solving some kind of a problem, especially with the maze. But what if AI could formulate its own heuristics on the fly? So what if instead of bumping into every dead end, it could actually think like a human and predict the optimal solutions, therefore eliminating all these suboptimal solutions. And this is where OpenAI model called Q star comes in, as it's capable of solving simple math problems. And you might be thinking, what does the simple math problem has to do with solving maze? Well, doing grade school involved, it could be a step towards creating artificial general intelligence. Now, let's recap as well how some of these large language models are built to actually assist in some of our automations. So when it comes to GPT-4, which was built by OpenAI, it's built on a tree of thought. So it tries to mimic how humans think and also follow the approach, searching for solutions to certain problems in sort of branching way. So we are teaching this AI, specifically GPT-4, or some other large language models, to think through certain problems similar to how you or I would do it. Then we can also utilize something called reinforcement learning AI. And this is a learning process that is analogous to teaching a pet through rewards and corrections. So the agent's goal is to learn a strategy or policy that will maximize the cumulative reward it receives over time. And some of the main and famous applications of this reinforcement learning was, of course, applied in autonomous vehicles, robotics, gaming, video gaming developments. And some of the largest companies that utilize this learning would be, of course, Tesla in their autonomous vehicles. We've got DeepMind, which is part of Alphabet, as well as Amazon, Microsoft, and NVIDIA. Another model worth mentioning is also Orca 2, which is Microsoft open source model that is designed to amplify the capacities of compact AI models. And the goal of such experiments is to develop small AI models that perform similarly to large models, but require less computing power. So as an example, is the key insight behind Orca 2 is that the different tasks could benefit from different solutions, strategies, that the larger language models might actually provide really good answers to complex tasks, but might not be designed, to actually provide different and more detailed strategies of like step-by-step processes. So far we have covered all these main large language models and its capabilities. So what's next in AI? Well, there's something called AlphaGo that was developed by Google DeepMind. And it seems that if you would have combined the capabilities of ChatGPT-4 and AlphaGo, this just might lead to the next big leap forward. So let me explain. Andrej Karpathy, who's one of the top guys at OpenAI, he explained how AlphaGo actually has two major stages. So the first stage means that you will learn by imitating human experts players. So you take lots of games that were played by humans and you kind of like just filter only to those games played by really good humans, and you will learn by imitation. So in a way, you are getting the neural networks to just imitate really good players, and this works, and this then give you kind of pretty good Go playing program strategies. So what it cannot do is, and that is to surpass human, because it's only trained on how best a human played, right? So it only can train what a human can deliver. And DeepMind figured out way how to actually surpass humans, and the way this was done is by self-improvement. So you can play millions and millions of games and kind of perfect the system just based on the probability of winning. So there's no need to imitate. You can go beyond human, and that is in fact what the system end up doing. So I think a lot of people are kind of interested what is the equivalent of this step number 2 for large language models. And because today we are only doing the step 1, which is the imitation of humans, there leaves a really big question mark as if like what can be done if the stage 2 is implemented in our large language modeling. The complexities are that we are in a space of language where everything is a lot more open, and there's all these different types of tasks, and fundamentally there's no like a simple reward function that you can access, and it will tell you whatever you did, whatever you have sampled was good or bad. So in the case that in narrow domains, such a reward function could be achievable. So we have to think of the possibilities when we are dealing with the narrow domains, and it just might give us the opportunities to self-improve language modeling. Okay. Another example is Demis Hassabis, who is the big boss at Google DeepMind. He says that the company is working on a system called Gemini that will tap into the techniques that helped AlphaGo defeat Go champions in 2016. So Gemini will use AlphaGo style algorithm to boost reasoning. And this idea of kind of combining large language modeling, GPT-4, and AlphaGo seems to be the next big breakthrough. And of course, we cannot not talk about the concerns and the safety of AI. And of course, we have to ensure that AI is used ethically and responsibly. But we are honestly entering into a new era of how informations are going to be processed, how it can be trained, right? Especially with the stage 2 AlphaGo type of modeling. So we've got lots of excitement in front of us. And we just need to see week by week how these advancements in AI are going to develop. I know I learned a lot. I know there's so many advancements are being made in AI. It's very difficult to keep up with it if you are not a data scientist, if you are not one of the developers. But all we can do is on a daily basis just to try to spend 5 minutes in educating ourselves about AI advancements. So remember, subscribe to this channel and I'll keep you updated. Ciao!